Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Subaru Outback in the Touring XT trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 225/60 Yokohama tires wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Cosmic Blue Pearl, and looks pretty good. If you like this type of kind of royal blue or just kind of darker blue color, I think it looks really good. Now this one has a lot of cladding, so this gives you the classic Subaru look. So if you want to look like you're driving a Subaru, this will let everybody know you're driving a Subaru. This has that, you know, that Subaru look with the Outback, you know. So yeah, a lot of cladding right up in here. You can see right in here. All this is a matte black cladding. There is a little bit of a gloss black, sparkle black right in here, but the most of it is the matte black. Now it does have a little silver trim at the bottom, and it has a camera right in here for the front camera view. And so it has a headlight system that is projector. So it's a single projector tube for the low and the high beams, and they also move left and right. And I'll show that in the night video. There's also a reflector fog light system as well. Now this one has the eyesight system. So you see there's cameras up here. There's a center camera for the lane keep assist system. And then there's two separate cameras above that. They're cupped to the glass to avoid glare. And they use that for the adaptive cruise control system instead of a radar system. So you can see the cladding goes here on the side as well. So here around each wheel well and at the base of the doors as well, and continuing all the way to the back. Now there's some gloss or chrome trim around the glass, kind of solidifying that. And then there's also a gloss black pillar there in the center, and that helps solidify the glass as well. Now there is a body colored handle. It has a chrome trim, and then there's some chrome there on the side mirrors with a non-reflective one there at the top, looking pretty cool. Then the roof rails, very bold roof rails there at the top, and they have the bars that swing. So they swing over to connect when you want to use those. So otherwise they're just kind of, they're less aerodynamic when they're swinging to the side, so they keep them that way. So it's a very functional roof rack. It's just, you know, very obvious that there's a roof rack there. This is what the key looks like. And I've actually done a video on how to take the battery out and everything, disassemble it and all that stuff if you want to check it out. So there's the actual, the imprints there are not very noticeable. So you kind of have to know right where they are, because at nighttime it's kind of hard to see. But the big oval one is the unlock. That's the main one. Then you have the lock, and then you have the ability to open up the power liftgate and the panic button as well. Let's go ahead and hit that panic button. All right, so nice, pretty strong horn, not too beepy or anything. But it's designed to where you can just keep the key in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. It's the type of system here on the door where the sensors to lock is here and to unlock is right here. So you just put your hand behind the handle, it senses the key, it senses your hand on the the key has to be on the outside of the door, and it'll open up the door for you. And then there's a physical key location here on the driver's side only. Here's the inside of the passenger door, and it looks pretty good. It has a combination of black and this brown color. There's some stitching. There's a lot of soft touch surfaces. So right in here, it's kind of like a rubberized vinyl in a way. And then you have like a regular vinyl here for the armrest. Very soft and comfortable here and here. Soft up in here. And then it goes into the hard plastics there at the bottom. This is enclosed, so you can utilize it as a pocket. And then you have the pockets at the bottom, mostly for the bottle, but you know, you could use it for other stuff as well. A little bit of gloss black, chrome. Speaker there as well. Has the Harman Kardon sound system. It sounds pretty decent. Now the doors don't cover the entire threshold, but they cover most of it. So it goes down to about right there. This part is exposed still, but it keeps most of the threshold clean because it does have a seal at the bottom of the door. So you know, try to keep that a little bit clean. There's no fancy seal plate or anything, just a regular plastic, more durable seal plate there. And it has a power seat here on the passenger side. It's able to tilt up and down, forward and back, and tilt the back. So it's a little bit more functionality than a regular one. So these seats are fairly comfortable. They are wrapped in a Napa leather, heated and cooled seat as well. Really nice. The perforations there on the edge, has some stitching. But yeah, not overly done, but as far as comfort, they're adequate for sure. For me anyway. There's a little side pocket here, utilized there. It's convenient sometimes. There's a floorboard, and this one has the rubber mats in place. It comes with the, you can get either the rubber or the carpet mat, so whatever you want. But these are really nice. They fit in there nicely, the factory mats. They're kind of contoured on the edge a little bit. So there's a locking glove compartment. This is a hard touch surface, and it has a felt lining, looking pretty nice. And right in here is a little pocket, kind of a quick access pocket. You can put some stuff. A little spoiler for the night video, there's no light in there though. So at nighttime, if it had just a tiny, tiny bit of light in there, it'd be better, I think. And then you have more of that kind of vinyl type wrapping here, and then a kind of rubberized non-reflective dash as well. The opening in the front door is plenty of space, so getting in and out is no problem. You're not bumping your head or anything like that. Also, the seat off the ground space is like near perfect for just about everybody. Now the back door, a little bit smaller, and the swing of the door is not quite, I think if it can swing just a tad bit more, it would help out a little bit, but as it is, it's not really a big deal. It's just a little bit less space, of course, in the back area getting in and out. Now the back door, it does have the privacy glass, since this is a SUV, or considered. It kind of looks like a wagon to me, but it's considered SUV. So it has the soft touch surfaces here and here. No skimping on the back door. Is basically just like the front as far as the quality and everything. Once again, we have a plastic sill plate. The back seats have pretty decent bolstering. Cup holders and armrest there in the center. Very soft. There's also car seat attachments here, and I like the way it just has this little flap here, so you can really easily access them. And then when you're done, they're 100% covered up. So yeah, that's pretty good. It doesn't have like these little plastic covers that you take off and have to lose or whatever, or swing down. There's nothing in your way. Once you fold those flaps down, you have easy access, and then they're completely covered up when you're finished. You can see there's some here, one in the middle, and then there on the end. The back of the seats have these two pockets, actually. Here, a bigger one, and then a small here and then here. So you can put your cell phone there, tablet here, other crap there. You know, just kind of load it up. Both seats have that. So that's really nice for the passengers back here, and lots of legroom. Now there's a pretty decent size hump in the middle, so the center passenger, they have to accommodate for that anyway. So 2-stage heated seats back here, USB-A, USB-C ports as well, and climate control vents. Fuel doors here on the passenger side, and it locks with the vehicle. This opens up, and you have a traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap here. Now, it doesn't say, it's not really saying anything about premium fuel, but since it's a turbocharged engine, probably a good idea to use premium fuel, so just keep that in mind. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has a shark fin antenna up here, but also has a camera in that. So there is a camera for the rear view camera. So it has it right there. It's separate from the backup camera, which is down here. There's also a third brake light here at the top of the glass, rear wiper, and you have parking sensors back here integrated into this black portion, into the cladding here, here, and here. Now it has the backup camera a little bit offset. I'm not sure why companies still insist on, having the offset camera there. I mean, they understand that the rear view camera has to be in the middle, but it'd be nice if that was in the middle as well. So let's go ahead and open this up. Press the button here, or you can of course use the key. And we have a hard plastic under here, and also have these lights that you can turn on or off if you want as well. It has this shade, and it covers up the cargo area for the most part. Now it has this little section here that covers up the back portion, because right here these seats can recline a little bit, so it has a little bit of space there, and then it has like a little patch part right there to cover up the cargo area. Now another problem, other than that little kind of patchy add-on thing, is that the light here is blocked by the shade as well. So you have to rely on this light mostly, which doesn't really work all that great. I showed that in the night video. But anyways, the way this shade is, you can pull it forward and you can, see if I can do it with one hand here. There we go. And you can slide it up like there. Kind of goes on that rail, and it slides up so you can access your stuff a little bit better while not, you know, completely retracting the shade. Or you can pull it all the way like this and retract it. But then that flap kind of flops down. And if you flop it up like this, sometimes, which is fine, but sometimes, you know, it'll kind of get stuck like that when you're driving. It'll kind of get in the way, but usually it stays down like that out of the way. Now it will get in the way of you reclining your seats that way though. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like this the shade could be designed maybe a little bit better. Maybe I'm wrong. You can let me know in the comments. Okay, so we have a subwoofer back here. There's these little bag holders that are handy. There's also tie downs here, here. There's one up there. It's actually a fixed metal little hook right there that pops out. There's a little cubby right here, and it has a net pocket to keep things in there. You can push that down if you need that extra space if you're loading something up, or you can just simply lift it up and use the net again. Now it has these pull handles to lower the back these seats, so you can just pull that and it kind of flop down left or right. So it's a 60-40 split you can add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space, and it has a lot of space back here. I mean, you can, you know, like sleep in this thing. It's really nice. So yeah, if we just kind of pull it, kind of flops down like so, and it's almost completely flat. So definitely with a blanket or air mattress or something like that, you can definitely sleep in here. So not even moving the front seat, I left it right where it is, and of course take the shade out. But yeah, we've got it like 6 foot 3 inches from there to that front seat. So definitely a lot of room, and having it almost completely level. So yeah, it definitely could sleep in here. And while we're at it, 3 feet 7 inches, something like that, width in that narrow area. So yeah, pretty substantial. Under that rubber mat is this handle here, and you just press in, lift this up, and you lift up. Now this is not like latched down, it's just kind of sitting there. The handle is just to make it to where you can lift it up. Now, once again, we have this little kind of add-on thing where we take the hook and lift it up here, and there we go. So that's their solution for holding it up. This is where the carpet mats are. So you can see it has the tools there, jack, and then under that is a full diameter spare tire. So yeah, if you're going off-roading, you definitely need a spare tire. So it has it. A lot of like styrofoam here. So you probably could take some of this out and, you know, add some more cargo space under here if you really wanted to. I mean, who needs to carry around these carpet mats with you? Lowering the power liftgate, it actually has 2 buttons here. So one button is to simply just lower the power liftgate. The other one is to lower it and then lock the vehicle when you're done. So if you're done with getting your groceries out or whatever, and you want to just go and hit the button, walk away, you're good. So that's a really handy button to use. Now I mentioned these seats recline, and you're probably wondering how they do that. There's the lever right there on the seat, and we can just pull up on that and push down like so. That way you have a little bit of it's not huge recline, but it does have the ability to recline, and they recline independently from each other. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, just press and hold the brake and press this button to start it up. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. And I like the way that on this side it has these little posts that keep the floor mat in place for you. And it's a lot better than, like, say, some kind of hook system or anything like that, because it keeps the floor mat from sliding forward and back and keeping it from twisting. But at the same time, when you take it out, you just simply lift it up. It's so easy and you know, well designed. Shows the accelerator, brake pedal, and has a pretty good footrest there as well. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch right in the very center. Just reach in, move it to the left, and lift up. And it's a fairly heavy hood. Now it does require a prop to hold it up, and the prop is on the underside of the hood here, and it swings down and goes right where that arrow is pointing. I remember the first 3 or 4 Subarus I owned had the spare tire on top of the engine. But yeah, it's pretty interesting because the Boxer engine is designed to fit very low in the vehicle, so it has a lower center of gravity, and it has the heads are separated. So it actually has 2 cylinders going this way, 2 cylinders going that way. So it separates the head so it disperses the heat a little bit better. It's a full aluminum engine. It has 2 separate exhaust manifolds, and then you have the 2 intake manifolds there on the top. This one has an intercooler right here because it is a turbocharged engine, so it keeps the air flow a little bit cooler. And you can see it's pulling in air for that cooler right there on the hood, and that kind of pulls it in on the front of the engine compartment before it actually gets into the engine compartment. Actually, it's right there in the front grille, pulling it in. So yeah, kind of interesting. I like the way the oil filter is so easy to get to. Even has like a little drip pan there as well. So this Boxer engine is a 2.4 liter turbocharged. So this is the turbocharged one. In other trims, you can get the non-turbocharged 2.5 liter. This one's the 2.4 turbocharged with the 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. It also has a high torque lineartronic CVT. So it's still a CVT, it's just this one's designed for a little bit higher torque. And it does deliver. I'm pretty impressed with the transmission and how it gets the power to the road and actually gets you flying fast when you put the RPMs high. The blind spot indicator for the blind spot detection system and rear cross traffic alert is right here on the side of the mirror. So it's not in the glass, it's right here on this side right there. It will illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. So the inside of the driver's door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So you have automatic windows on all 4 doors. So the front, very easy. Back, just press it, and they go all the way down in the back. One touch up, and these are not laminated glass, just standard glass. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You can power fold them as well. So the driver's seat is kind of one-ups the passenger seat with the 4-way lumbar adjustment. You can still go up and down, tilt, and all that stuff. But yeah, the 4-way lumbar adjustment. We also have this manual thigh extender as well. It's kind of spring-loaded, so when you pull on it, it pushes out. You release it and then push it back in that's how you adjust it there. So yeah, these are Napa leather seats, heated and cooled, and fairly comfortable. The ride quality helps out with the comfort as well, which Subaru has been doing a pretty good job for a pretty good amount of time, but I've noticed it more lately. To the left of the steering column, there's a few buttons here. So the ability to open up the power liftgate, dimmer switch for the interior gauges, and then you can turn the liftgate off. If you don't want kids playing with it or whatever, pressing the button, you can just turn that power liftgate feature off. And it has a tilt and a telescoping steering column that you lock it in place here. There's also reset the trip. Go ahead and show you that before I forget, because it's right in this area. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down. And it's too much room. I mean, I have to pull it up for sure. So if you're over 6 feet tall, no problem driving this vehicle. The legroom is excellent when you pull the seat all the way back. Now it diminishes the rear seat slightly, but you know, if you're really tall and need a vehicle, this one works apparently. I feel like a toddler. So let me go and pull it up quite a ways here. So it has the leather wrap steering wheel. Feels really good. This leather is awesome. And it's not really that soft, but as far as like the cushy soft, but it works fine. It's thick enough to where it's not like digging in my hands or anything like that. It has some decent stitching there on the inside, nothing fancy though. And it has kind of bunches up a little bit. But down here it has the heated steering wheel control, so it's on or off. It's just one stage. And this is pretty much typical Subaru that's been like this for a long time. So it has the cruise control here on the right side. You turn it on, set, resume, and then you can cancel. And then this is the lane keep assist system, which it doesn't work well. It wanders too much, it fights with you, it just doesn't work well. Now the adaptive cruise control, you can increase or decrease the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. Here on the left side, the volume for the radio. Now I noticed the way the steering wheel is designed, I've noticed this for a while now. You have this section here, and then you have this section here with stuff, and then it's like, it seems like they just forgot about the volume, so they're like, oh, just tack it on down here. So it looks a little tacked on. But this is so you have the volume for the radio, the audio source, change to the tracks. You can answer and hang up on your phone. So this also serves as the mute button for the radio. But I like the way it has two separate buttons instead of having a single button like some vehicles. And then you have the voice recognition here, which is also separate. So this little switch right here corresponds with the screen. We'll get to that in a second. It has pedal shifters, so you have some control over the speed ratios. It doesn't have gears per se, but it has speed ratios, so you're able to have some control over that, especially if you need to downshift. So the front and rear wipers are over here. Nothing too fancy about those. Turn signals here, but it also has the headlight switch off, automatic parking and headlights on, and then the fog lights are controlled here. So the gauges are pretty straightforward. Tachometers, RPM gauge here on the left side with the engine coolant temperature, and then you have the fuel gauge, and then the speedometer there, and then you have the information there in the center with the digital speedometer. You have 2 separate trips, so using this trip button over here, you press it, you can go A and B, and you can reset those independently just by pressing it and holding it down to reset each one. You have miles per gallon information up there as well, distance to empty, but if you use this little toggle switch right here, we can scroll through and just get different information there at the top. Whatever we land on is what it'll stay on. So yeah, choose what you want. No elaborate computer or maps or any kind of special things like that. Okay, so over here, they added this recently, this little thing right here for the driver attention system. So it actually has a camera and infrared lights to shine in your face, basically. And see if it's, yeah, I don't know. This camera's not really picking out the infrared light, but it shines in your face. And even if you have sunglasses on, it's able to see through those and look at your eyes and make sure you're paying attention to the road. Kind of interesting. I think it's mandated or something. People were talking about a kill switch, like if the car thinks you're drunk or something, then some people just look like that, but I don't know, or act like that. But anyways, it might not let you drive your car. 4-way flashers are here, volume for the radio, tuned through the stations, and it has these physical buttons here on the side, you know, like temperature, front and rear defrosters, all that stuff. And then the center screen is kind of divided up, so you have the climate control here at the bottom, which you can expand by pressing that button and make your adjustments, and then you have your heated and cooled seat controls with a 3-stage, so high, medium, low, and off for both the heated and cooled seats. Same thing with the passenger side. And then you have the, this is the home button. So when you hit the home button, this is what it shows here. The start, stop, idle stop, or whatever you want to call it, feature is here. That's on and that's off. So I just turn it off when I first start the vehicle. You have the brake hold system here. Phone settings, user settings, vehicle settings are all here. So you can hit that. Pulls up a huge amount of stuff. They're categorized, have these little tabs. There's the users. And then there's the phones. Get out of that. Here at the top, you have this like little banner, little marquee, I guess you can say, but it doesn't automatically scroll, but you can kind of scroll it and get different information that you want. It doesn't continue though. You have to go left or right. Like once you get to the end, you have to go back to the other side. It's kind of cool. It has your pitch and roll, accelerator, that kind of stuff, your accelerator percentage. So as I accelerate, you can see how much I'm pressing it. Weather, that kind of stuff. But actually here on the screen is similar to a cell phone where it has these little tiles, and you have the radio, see what that looks like. Turn it down. Then you have your presets there. You have AM, FM, satellite radio. And then your map, navigation. Kind of get a closer look like, I think it's a TomTom system, pretty sure it is. And you can kind of zoom in and out. You can zoom in here as well, but pinch zoom is also convenient. And your media, this will be playing off your device or USB, iPod, phone, iPhone, CD, auxiliary input. It does have a CD player. I'll show you that in a second. Keeping the 90s alive. Some people like CDs. It's interesting. I don't like carrying them around. You know, I don't mind the sound quality is good, but it's just carrying around a bunch of CDs I'm not really a fan of. And then you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as well. My Subaru apps. You can also turn the display off if you want to. The auto vehicle hold is a separate button here, even though it's down here for some reason. Get a little bit of redundancy, which is good sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of a breakdown of how the Subaru system works. It's once you understand the divisions and what happens when you navigate through the system, once you get used to it, it's really simple and fairly well designed, I guess. I mean, you just got to get used to it. It's like anything. Electronic parking brakes here. You lift it up to engage it. It has a little indicator light that it's on. It engages the rear wheels. Press the brake, push it down to release it. Now, the reason why I mentioned that it engages the rear wheels, like almost all vehicles do that, right? But there was one time in which, and it turned out it was a Subaru, that it was an electronic parking brake. It was a manual parking brake, and it actually would engage the drive wheels. So in this case, it was a front wheel drive Subaru, and when I pulled the brake handle, it actually was the front wheels, not the rear. So, you know, that's why I mentioned that, just for the sake of knowing that which actual wheels are being braked. It's not all four wheels. It's only two. And it's usually the rear, but sometimes very rarely the front. So you have the USB ports here and a auxiliary input as well. Little storage compartment here, which it does have a nice light at nighttime. I'll show that in the night video. So when we hit this button right here, it pops up the camera, and you notice it's showing the front view. The front of the vehicle right now is being shown, and it gives you a little indicator there. It's not like super high quality camera. It's not high resolution. It looks a little bit crappy compared to the actual screen resolution's quality. But if you're doing any kind of off-roading, this could be handy, right? Now, when you put it in reverse, then it switches to the rear camera. So it doesn't have like that 360 camera type system. It just has a front and rear camera. Now the rear camera does have the active guidelines, but once again, it's just really, it's just really low resolution, low quality image. It does give you the ability to see around and see what's going on, but you know, if it was considering you have a high definition screen, you know, having a higher definition camera would be better in my opinion. Okay, so the shifter, there's park. It's very easy, and I like this leather material. It feels really good. So there's reverse, we saw that, neutral, drive, and then you can manually change the gears here. It's actually speed ratios, not gears, but you get what I mean. So when you put it over here, then you use the paddle shifters to manually shift through the gears. Cup holders are here, and it actually has this little insert right here. So depending on if you have a larger cup or a shorter cup, you can use that little spacer for a shorter cup versus a taller cup. Here's the armrest here in the center console. Very soft and comfortable, just like the ones in the doors. I wish all vehicles had, you know, some vehicles are like hard as a rock. Feels like an anvil with a rag laying over it. Sometimes it just doesn't, not comfortable. This one is really nice. I noticed that on Subarus for years now. So it actually has a built-in magic trick. So you can make it look like this, or you can make it look like this. All right, enough joking. Under here, there's two little levers right here, and the top part is the left one, and it has this little shallow spot. I have my business cards in the way, and I'm not trying to show off cash. These are actually my business cards. It's a little, you know, has looks like a $100 bill. And it has a QR code, and it's intended to promote my YouTube channel. So no, I'm not trying to show off cash, like some people will think I'm doing. I don't have any cash to show off. All right, so this is kind of rubberized right in here. So whatever you put in there doesn't slide around so much. Now, when you lift this up, it's gonna, you know, slide to the back. But yeah, nice little quick access spot. And then you have the larger spot down here, and it has places for wires to go in and out of this compartment. This is where you'll find the CD player and a 12-volt power supply and a felt lining in the bottom. It's not super deep, but you can I would take out the felt lining and replace it with a lighter color one so you can see in there a little bit better. I made a video about that before. But yeah, pretty decent little compartment, and having the CD player kind of tacked on in here is kind of cool for the people that want a CD player. That is awesome, because not a lot of CD player options nowadays. So the rear view mirror is also a rear view camera. And I remember I showed you that camera in the shark fin antenna back there. It has a really good view, which you can adjust. So you can adjust the brightness, you can adjust the height, the left and right, tilt, and then you can set it up, change the language, all that stuff. Home link garage door opener controls are here. And it's actually an auto dimming rear view mirror. So when you have it in mirror mode, it's auto dimming. Same thing with this right here. It'll dim a little bit the screen if there's when it's nighttime. But yeah, it looks really good. I wish the this camera is so much better than the backup camera. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's really good. I'm getting just spoiled with rear view cameras instead of a mirror. It's really good. So the visor has mirrors and lights. It is a cloth just like the headliner, and it does slide out as well. Slide over like that, and it has pretty good coverage, and it has a little clip right here. So I like the clip because you can put a registration or whatever you want right there. Just to mention, on this one, if you put the registration there and then you flip it this way, then if your private information is exposed to people. So, you know, just make sure you place it, fold it in a way where you doesn't like show all of your information. I like to have it in the inside, preferably. Okay, so up here is the place to put your shades. So you have a pretty good size as well, and it has like this soft, what is that? Just kind of soft surface, I guess, except for right here. It's just right there to keep it from rattling, I guess. Then you have roadside assistance. You have this switch to have the interior lights in the front not turn on with the door. So you can switch it over there, or you can have them on with the door. Just in the front, not the back. Kind of weird. I explained this in the night video. It's like the whole purpose of this is for babies usually, but it's only the front ones. But anyways, I go into that. Go into a little bit of tangent in the night video. Little quick reading lights here. You know, they're not all that great, but that's the interior lights here in the front. And then the sunroof is here. And the sunroof has a shade that covers up 100% of the light. You can slide it back, and let's go ahead and tilt it up. Pull it back down, slide it back, pull it back, goes a little bit further back. So looking at the visibility here in the back, it's fine. I mean, there's lots of windows, there's very little areas in which it could be a blind spot. There's always blind spots in every vehicle, but yeah, this one's fine. There's lots of visibility here in the back. Also here in the front, you notice this pillar here has some space between the side mirror and the pillar isn't exceptionally wide. So yeah, the visibility is really good. I mean, it has the backup camera, the parking sensors in the back, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection system, all that stuff. Wish I had a little bit better backup camera, but it is what it is, right? So it accelerates fine. I mean, it has really good acceleration, really, as for this type of vehicle. So with the CVT system, when it doesn't try to, you know, simulate gear shifts, it really does a good job of getting you going, and just kind of like forget about the whole oscillation and maybe I'm shifting gears, maybe I'm not. If it just does what a CVT is supposed to do, it really puts you out there in traffic and gets you merging in traffic and highways and stuff, and especially when you really accelerate fast like I just did. I just pushed it full 100% acceleration, and that's where the engine really comes to life and gives you that full power. It's not like some vehicles where if you push it to the floor, then it's like you're pushing it past its power range, and then it's slower than if you just were to push it a little bit. It's weird, but this one, you know, push it to the floor and that's where you get the full power out of this vehicle. I noticed in recent years that Subarus have had a very good ride quality, fairly good on handling bumps and just in general, soft, kind of cushy ride, and fairly comfortable seats. You know, just overall pleasure to drive. Now, this is a, you know, Outback, so, you know, this is just like a road test. This has the all-wheel drive system, which is very capable. It's pretty amazing. Years ago, I took a Outback out on a beach, basically, and drove in some real deep sand, and it was just kind of like a spur-of-the-moment thing for a dealership, and it handles really well. as far as, you know, being able to keep going and not bogging down. We didn't put it in X mode. We didn't air down the tires. We didn't do anything. We just like off the highway onto the beach and drove around. Because that's basically what the dealership wanted, some video footage of that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, the all-wheel drive system. But the thing about you get the basic CVT experience, you know, where it tries to simulate gears, but maybe not. You know, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And, you know, it's not a big deal, because once you get used to it, the transmission's fine, really. And the acceleration, you're not going to break necks or anything like that. It's not really that type of vehicle. So it's just okay. Across the board, it's okay. The one thing that I would say is not okay, and I pretty much have to turn it off constantly, is the lane keep assist system. It is so annoying because it's constantly fighting with you, and even on straight roads, it's just like wandering around. I mean, if I were to have that on and a cop was behind me, I would probably get pulled over. So I'll go ahead and sit here and turn it on. And it's a hands-on system, right? So this is a straight road, and so basically the way it detects that your hands are on the steering wheel is not a grip sensor. It uses a torque sensor. Like the steering wheel you have to turn the steering wheel to let the system know that you are, you know, holding the steering wheel. So it feels like on certain roads, like almost all roads, it feels like it wants to wander left and right, and I wonder if it definitely is doing that, because, and I wonder if it's trying to constantly detect if you're holding the steering wheel, because like this road right here is completely straight, so I don't have to put any input on the steering wheel to keep it straight. You know, it's just straight. So right now it's telling me to keep my hands on the steering wheel. I've got two hands on the steering wheel, right? So I have to, you know, like literally I have two hands on the steering wheel. So I have to jiggle the steering wheel sometimes. So right now it's a little bit of a turn, and this is where it really screws up, is when where it goes back and forth. It goes back and forth. It'll get too close to that line, it'll go over here, and it's just kind of like, you know, rocks back and forth. And when you're holding the steering wheel, see, it's actually better when you're not holding it. It holds the line, the road much better. When I'm holding the steering wheel, it's pulling and tugging on my hands constantly, and so it's fighting with me, which creates this like oscillation on the road sometimes, depending on the road. Like, once again, this is a very straight road, but on back roads and stuff like that, it just becomes a big problem. And even on the highway, it's certain, you know, depends on the situation, but 9 times out of 10 I'll get fed up with it and turn the system off. It is not done well, and I don't know if it's the eyesight system, if it's, you know, what's going on. And every time it's clearly marked roads too. You know, here we are with another situation where I have two hands on the steering wheel, and it's, you know, it went away this time. But, you know, it's one of those systems where it has a torque sensor. You have to move the steering wheel. So even if you have your hands on, if you don't have to move the steering wheel because you're on a straight road, let's see if it's kind of going back and forth a little bit now. But yeah, that's one of the things as far as the ride quality, as far as the driving experience, that I'm not really, you know, it really needs improvement. And it's been kind of like this for a while now, and they haven't improved it, even in the 2025 models. But, you know, it's easily turned off, so it's very easy to steer. So there's no reason to, if you have to hold the steering wheel anyway, might as well just steer for yourself, right? You can still use the adaptive cruise control, and instead you're not constantly being fought with the whole time. So it has the electric power steering. It's easy to steer, so you just kind of cruise on the highway, and you don't have to deal with all that nonsense with the steering assist system. That aside, I really do like the rearview mirror camera that they have here. That's really nice, and you can always switch to a mirror if you want it. And it's in that high position on the shark fin antenna, which I showed you. But yeah, it's a pleasure to drive once you turn the steering assist off overall. but like I said, you know, driving it on the road like this is not really showing the full story. It's able, on especially dry roads like this, it's very capable off-road. It's capable on slippery roads, snow, stuff like that. So yeah, that's really where the value add is with these type of vehicles. When you're in a situation where you need that all-wheel drive system that's really good, this one delivers. You know, and the Subaru in general delivers with the all-wheel drive systems.